Hello all. Following my latest more restore, the knife didn't have the sheath, so I'm doing a traditional style wood sheath handle. I'm using wood from a pallet. I think it's pine. I should have used a harder piece of wood, but well. So it's a very straightforward process. I just need 2 pieces of wood, similar size, and then I draw the contours of the blade. Then you have to cut off the excess material to create the slots for the blade to drop in. In this case, I'm doing the slot on both sides of the wood, but one alternative is to make the slot just on one side and then glue the other side on top of that. But then when you are shaping the sheet, you have to be in mind that you have to remove material less from the side that has the slot, so it makes it even on both sides. So half of the thickness of the blade on each side. I'm using a variety of tools, from knives to chisels, and it's a very straightforward process. You just remove all the wood that is unneeded, so you can create an even surface on each side. Now I'm making a rough shape on one of the sides. I'm also opening the mouth of the sheet, so when you are putting the knife on the sheet, it goes more easily inside. So now it comes the part when I have a rough shape, and now I'm gluing it on the other half of the sheet. I'm using regular wood glue and some clamps to apply pressure. Just to be sure, you have to give enough time for the glue to set in. I let it cure probably for 24 hours, just to be sure that both sides were glued strongly enough for me to go and for the next steps. Now that everything is glued, you need to shape. I'm starting to shape the final shape into the wood. I'm using an axe. For me, it's the most quick tool to do this job. Now I'm using the knife to refine the shape and make it not so squarey, removing a lot of wood and make it more aesthetically pleasing. It's a bit of freestyle work. I never do much planning on these projects. It's something that comes with work. I never know in the end what will be the end result. And now I'm flattening the opening with some sandpaper on the bench. So now the beveled, the edges are beveled. And to ensure that the leather top stays put and be permanently fixed to the sheaths, I'm going to create a slot where the leather will wrap up, and after stitching it will not go anywhere. So the sheath, both parts of the sheath will be permanently attached to each other. I think later you will see how this slot will work. Once again, a lot of knife work and chisels and just doing some decoration. Nothing too fancy, but well, just to give some aesthetic details. You can leave it plain, or you can do some figuring, I don't know. Traditionally, they use geometric patterns, but well, this time not. I'm dyeing the wood with the leather dyes, as always. This time it's red for the most part. I will also give some accents of dark brown. I'm using leather dyes. No, this time I'm not using leather dyes. This time I'm using wood dyes. They work very similar to leather dyes. They are not paint. They are dyes, so you can see the wood grains below. And I'm applying a top finish to the some varnish. Now I'm starting to do the leather collar on the top. I'm just using a piece of leather just to give me some rough dimensions of the piece I need. Always use, when working with leather, always use a strip of leather similar to the one you are going to use to give you the dimension. Because if you use a regular measuring tape, it will not be enough because it will be too short. So I always use a piece of leather to give me some dimensions. I have skived the top part, and I'm folding inside to create a folding. So as you can see, the bottom part will be around the slot, and since it's at an angle, it will be more secure, and there is no way the leather sheet will slip down. I'm just giving some. Now I'm putting some markings to do the stitching. They are fairly wide, I think around 1 centimeter between points. You can do whatever. You can do tighter patterns or not, or even wider probably. But 1 centimeter it's enough for this project. I'm using an awl to open the holes, and then 2 needles. The stitching technique I'm using, it's the commonly known as saddle stitching with 2 needles. It's the most secure method of stitching. I don't know if you noticed, but I dampened the leather so it's more pliable, and as the leather dry, it will shrink and do a tighter fit on the sheet. As you can see, I always do back stitching, probably 3 or 4 times, to ensure that the stitching never goes undone. Now it's time to cut the excess leather on the back. And to start to give it some form, I use my own handmade wood tools and a bone folder. And once again, there isn't any particular plan I do. At the moment, I take the decisions of the style, and all the decoration is done a bit on the mood. One of my most used tools, it's the compass that you see. It's a very old tool that I bought used, probably more than 100 years, but it still works, and it is one of my most used tools. You can do lines, you can do measures, you can do all kind of stuff. I'm doing the 3 holes on the back on each side for the leather strap for the belt. Now applying some leather dye on the leather collar. I'm using Fibbin's British tan collar. I don't know if you noticed, but I really like to use sponge, regular sponge from box presents and so on. I cut in small pieces and use it as a brush almost. I'm applying neat foot oil, as always, to replenish the oils that have been lost during the wetting. And so it's always important after, when you finish your leather projects, to apply some top coats, always natural based, waxes and dubbins works great, but you can do your own mix at home. And then I'm applying a simple cord, leather cord, to be used as a belt loop. It's a very simple as you can see, my little one was playing on my side, outside of the camera, so well, just playing around with him. And that's it. Another project finished. I really like the end results. I'm not so sure about the colors, but well, it is what it is. Maybe next time I'll do different colors. Hope to see you soon, guys. Thank you very much.